So when they killed us at retail and we didn't sell what was expected, you know what I mean? We could have did that on our own, standing on our own 2 feet. We didn't have to use that. Right. We didn't have to do that. So I was really kind of reluctant to move on with the situation. And at the same time, I was signed to an independent Smoke Records. That's when I came with another album called The Underground Emperor that was distributed by MCA. And
what was that, like 2000?
That was around 2000. That was around 2000. So I had Follow Me Up.
So you transitioned from that album coming out. Wu-Tang niggas kind of basically bury that album for y'all. You have your independent thing going on. Basically, you're moving away from the other brothers, and now you start doing your solo thing. 2000 comes around, this album drops.
Right. So I dropped The Underground Emperor. MCA.
But you're still fucking with MCA.
Still fucking with
distribution.
MCA, distribution-wise. So MCA kind of played around and didn't want to give me a video, and you know, words were said behind the scenes to whereas they found it best to go their ways and I go my own, or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
And so we wound up doing that. And the independent, you know, they wound up saying, fuck it, we ain't gonna stand 110% behind you.
Well, if we don't have the distribution and we don't have this and that, and we got to make our own business moves, maybe it's best that we just...
Several times.
Yeah.
So, Brown Hornet was on a deep hiatus.
Oh.
So, I was on a hiatus. I was always making music, but I wasn't dropping no shit. So, until then, up to 3 years ago, me and King Just, who have a lot in common because we were making music back in the 90s. Nobody really heard of King Just in a while, so it was like, yo, let's come together and make the Emperor and the King the best of both hoods. Let's blow the dust off the mics and let the world know that we still out here, we still doing all.
And how is that received?
That was received very well. You know, that was received like brothers. You know, King Just has a big following.
Okay.
You know, maybe brothers know, a lot of brothers know Pop the Brown Hornet, but King Just, hey y'all ho, that shit was so, they were very, they gravitated towards that well. It wasn't like we got major radio playing all of that, but from the underground perspective and coming back, we got write-ups, interviews, you know, we was doing our 1-2. Once the Underground Emperor album was circulating, I was contacted by Phantom of the Beat, aka Haj G from the UMCs. He's done a lot of production for various different artists. Like he was from Staten Island. He also produced on my Underground Emperor album, Son Never Chill, Wants and Needs, him and his brother. So once he heard the album with me and King Just, he was more or less like, yo, Brown Hornet, yo.
What the fuck you doing? You back at it?
You
Let's
back
go.
at it?
Yeah, like
yo, let's.
My nigga, get it? We gotta work.
We gotta work. So what the fuck? I ain't know. You know what I mean? So it was more or less like, all right, let me come out with a little EP or something like that. So once we got to work and shit was moving swiftly, you know, I wound up doing 7-8 joints, you know, and because I knew an EP was 5. I didn't know an EP was 5 joints. Anyway, thought I was dropping the EP. I dropped the album. It was 8 tracks. I did a joint with King Just called We Came Here to Turn Up. Then I did another joint earlier this year when I dropped the album. I did Straighten It Out, which is getting a lot of airplay from Red Alert on Hot 97.
Okay.
Your boy Ralph McDaniels, Uncle Ralph, he's been playing the video consistently. You know what I mean? So I'm getting some love on that. Dropped another video, Zaddy Gotcha, and I just currently dropped a video from off the Foreman Mandella album called Hustle Hard, which was considered for a Grammy. You know what I mean? So I'm working.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Individuals who I know in the industry, you know, they're able to push a couple of buttons. Shout out to my man Rob Swartz, Who Mag Distribution. You know what I mean? Sony Orchard, they're the ones under Bombafire Enterprises. Foreman Mandela on all digital platforms right now.
Well, now let's take it back to some funny shit, cause I like to have fun. Like, you see me rolling up, my niggas is on the block, they were there, they over here. It's nothing too crazy, we just relaxing. I got myself a $40 weed, we chilling. And I just like to enjoy life, bottom line. But was there fun stuff that used to go on with Wu, though? Like, where you got a fun story, like Method Man was wilding out over here, Ghostface was doing some funny shit over there, some bitches were running around naked or something. Like, were there fun times, actually, where maybe y'all did link up in the studio, or there was a cypher, or something to that degree where y'all was around each other and it wasn't really about, damn, son doesn't want us to be like this or that, or was it always just that way?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't really fun times as far as me experiencing them, you know, with the clan or whatever the case may be. Because prior to that, we was in the streets, you know. So, and it wasn't always war, but you know, brothers had the attitude. We was young, you know. So
Yeah. Everybody's proud.
Everybody's this, that. It was more of that. I mean, was there healthy competition? Yeah. I knew Method Man before he was c.r.e.a.m. You know, I knew Inspector Deck. We would be at the Wave or we'd be at the Cave. We'd be at a club called The Consequences. I would get on them. You know what I mean? Brothers would get on the mic. And so brothers knew of each other. It was more of a brotherly love thing. But once the contracts and everything got into
Once
play,
the money got involved.
Yeah, all of that fun shit kind of like came to an end. And it was like, yo, I got my shit. Go get your shit. It became more me than it was love. So before the contracts and everything came into play, like I said, brothers of rock, rhymes, whatever, inside the clubs. But once the business came, you know, the fun times was over. I come from a different era, you know. It was a real era back then. So you know, I would like to, and I'd love to say there was more fun times in there. But once the business got into play, I couldn't just run into a studio and spit rhymes. Somebody take your idea before you know it, you hear that shit over there or over there.
Yeah, well, see that's the thing where you had to start protecting your possessions,
your brand,
your things. Yeah, because at the end of the day, niggas is good for just taking some shit, running with it, acting like whether it's a dance, whether it's a look, whether it's a style,
whether it's a movement, but
whether it's lyrics, bars, hooks, like
trust me,
anything that looks cool to somebody that they think they could get away with it. Especially nowadays, they do it even more. But back then, you would get fucked up for it. So, Cash tried to do it in a more, like in a sneaky fashion where certain people wouldn't catch it and keep those people silent so nobody hears their story and you could just keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? Once you got distance from people, I don't have to be around you. It is what it is.
Right, there you go. So once you, like you said, once you create...
Because they was in L.A. in the mansion, right?
So once you create distance... And once time passes, everybody doesn't know the same story. You know what I mean? A lot of people die out, they fizzle out, they go get a job, UPS, they move down south, boom, boom. Pop the Brown Hornet is still here to stay. I'm still a voice. I still want to be an ambassador for Staten Island.
What makes Staten Island so legendary to you? Because there's certain, like, I'm a nigga that, I'm from the LES, but I love Spanish Harlem, though. I love Brooklyn.
Yes.
So I big up everybody. I'm from the LES, I love the LES, but I haven't heard you talk about nothing but Staten Island this whole jump off. So, like, why is Staten Island so dear to your heart like that?
Well, Staten Island is dear to my heart. It's the 5th borough. You know, it's the forgotten rock. So
we're the 6th borough. LES.
Oh, all right.
6th.
Yeah, you and Fall Rockaway both same thing. But So
shout out Fall Rockaway.
So coming from the 5th borough, the power borough, that's like your little brother. You know what I mean? And so your little brother or your little sister, once they lost the older siblings, they know what not to do, this, that, and the third. And some of them, sometimes the bigger brother's successful, but the little bro can be more successful because he analyzes what to do and what not to do. I personally believe that. I call Staten Island Sudan because I believe it's rich in talent. It's been out there. It's been muffled. It's like a volcano that's going to erupt, and the lava that's going to come from out of Staten Island is going to be treacherous because it's been underneath one sound for so long, and that has to change. So me representing Staten Island.
But realistically, will it ever change?
It has to. Everything changes.
No, everything evolves. Nothing is constant but change. But do you think that the people want change? Is what I should say.
Of course, they're screaming for change.
Coming out of Staten Island, they just don't want to hear Wu-Tang.
Of course not.
Okay.
Of course not. They're screaming for change. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, me being a forefather, like I said, cream rises to the top. I was back on Staten Island where it was the borough to raise your family. Everybody would leave. You'll leave from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, come to Staten Island.
I know niggas from LES that they moved out there.
And feel like you in a much better place because it can still happen.
It's houses though, backyards.
It can still happen, but it's at a slower pace.
There you go. It's like almost going upstate or going somewhere else, like a little bit out of town.
But it's right here in the city.
There you go. You can cross the Verrazano or you can hop on a ferry.
Right, you right here in the city. So it gives you that. It gives you that southern feel, maybe because it's green, it's houses.
I got deers and shit and all that.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
But it go off. At the same time, we could venture off Staten Island. I spent many nights in all of the boroughs, plus New Jersey.
Yeah.
So we get the best of both worlds because we could venture over to Bayonne, Outer, Gotham. So it's so much. It's a different life growing up on Staten Island. So when I seen it from the good times being a youngster, I seen it turn bad when the crack era came. I seen when it was time to get jobs drilling with the coalition. I seen the music come. I seen them come and go, and I'm still here.
So speaking on that, how do you feel about Tekashi 6ix9ine and all these different antics and games and things you see going on, and then the maximum consequences come and people turn into something else? Like c.r.e.a.m say he want to snitch from the stand. This one's snitching on everybody. Like, the game has totally done a flip-flop. Do you even care about that? Do you have an understanding of it? Do you ponder any fucking ideas? Like, yo, how the fuck could this be possible now? And do you think it hinders certain sounds moving forward, or do you think this is just naturally what's supposed to happen because it's build and destroy?
Yeah, more or less the latter part. It's build and destroy. I don't really have a say-so on what these individuals do. That's not my concern. My concern is to be an MC, a message carrier, and I spit rhymes to the universe. I don't really get caught up in what other individuals is doing. I have to worry about me and myself and my circle and my square. I stand on what my beliefs are, so it's not really to dabble.
And so in comparison to what your beliefs are and what these cats are doing, what do you have to say about that?
Like I said, I have nothing to say. It's not my position. I'm not even concerned about what these individuals are doing. I see social media and all of that, and I know the code of the streets and who the fuck wants to be a rat or a snitch or who wants to. You got to live with your own consequences. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I grew up with hip hop, you had your Coogee raps, your KRS's, your Public Enemy. What I'm trying to say is there's so many different styles, and that's what I want to bring back to hip hop. I want to bring my own style. I want you to hear me, and I got my vintage look or my vintage sound. I don't want to sound like nobody else coming through, and it's like everybody, you got to decipher who I sound like. I want to carry my distinctive voice sound, and I want to do hip hop. I'm not catering to the streets. I'm catering to the universe, bringing a hip hop sound from out of Staten Island, New York.
So to formulate it, basically what people are doing in social media, niggas is snitching, niggas is carrying themselves all type of ways, that's fine, do you. But I'm gonna push through, and I'm gonna get to where I gotta go, and I got my shit popping, I'm confident in what I'm doing, and when you're busy, you don't have time to focus and worry about other shit.
Exactly. Like Grand Pooh once said, man, I stepped through the residue. I don't have no time for that. My mind is on a whole different plane. I'm not a young child. I'm not trying to look for any props or anything. I don't want any street glorification.
Well, I'm a media personality, so I got to speak on certain things because that's what I do. But coming as an MC from a certain time, I like to see where y'all minds is at. You know what I'm saying?
I want to be strictly business, man.
Okay.
Listen, I've lost time. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not even concerned about what the next cats are doing.
So what do you mean by you're not supposed to be here?
Like I said, I was already written off.
Nobody's written off
in
life, in my opinion.
Yeah, cool, and I believe that as well.
Somebody put something on Instagram, and they were like, "Yo, when you get buried, sometimes you're just being planted so you could grow again."
Yeah. There you go, and that's what happened. Yeah. So I got buried, my sound got muffled. I'm here with Foreman Mandella. You know what I mean? Years later, to let him, and all the fans that's out there, Brown Hornet fans, to all the new fans that's coming, like, oh shit, yo, he been around. Why these dudes didn't do X, Y, Z? Why I didn't hear his name? Boom, 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 boom.
So talk about this project now. How did this come about? Who's producing it? What was the drive? What's the expectation? And where do you see yourself after this project? Like, what's the plan moving forward?
So Foreman Mandella, it was produced by Phantom of the Beat. Majority of the album was produced by Phantom of the Beat. 2 tracks was produced by Dom Stack. The album, Foreman Mandella. I took George Foreman and Nelson Mandela. I took both of their last names and I combined it. The reason why I did that, George Foreman, I took Foreman. Foreman was once quoted saying it took him 20 years to get up after Ali knocked him out in the Rumble in the Jungle. You know what I mean? After 20 years later, he wasn't defeated by time. He came back, became the heavyweight champion of the world, reinvented himself, George Foreman grill. He became a businessman, so he came back and he didn't let time defeat him, after being swept under and forgotten about after Ali knocked him out.
That's deep.
Nelson Mandela spent over 26 years locked up in jail. came out of jail, became a president in parts of Africa, Nobel Peace Prize. He didn't let time defeat him. He still stayed the course of what he was out there to do. And that was to be righteous, uplifting, and move a nation and a people.
Wow.
So me, I embody Foreman Mandella, George Foreman Nelson Mandela. Foreman Mandela, the album, it's been damn near 20 years since I dropped my solo album, The Underground Emperor. I come back to let them know that, no, I didn't let time defeat me. I still stayed the same course. I represent hip-hop. I'm not with this fatty, trendy shit that's going on. You know what I mean? I owe it to the forefathers that did traditional classical hip-hop to say, you know what? I'm coming back 20 years on the same path, same format, doing real boom-bap hip-hop for the people, to let them know that you can still be successful at your love and your passion and your craft.
So like I said, what's popping off with you or performing live? Have you been performing live? Are you hitting the stage? Are you actually getting traction on that level? Because that's where MCs, from what I understand, make the money.
Right.
It's performances, it's on the road, so
I've been doing a slew of...
how are you bubbling? Pardon me, because I compound my
Right.
shit. How are you bubbling on the internet, selling your shit, and also doing performances?
Yeah, definitely getting a lot of streams, selling it like that, or getting radio play on all the platforms. I've been doing a few performances or whatever the case may be. I've been down with my man Pt.2 show and things of that nature.
Yo, you fuck with the Ryan show with Mr. Cheeks?
Yeah, I fuck with Ryan. I fuck with.
I met them when they used to
Hampton
be
Dave.
at the Tavern Lounge
Okay.
with my man Arthur.
Where was that, in Queens?
Yeah,
Before
and
homie got hit.
exactly.
Well, I performed there as well.
So I was fucking with what was his name that died?
But Ryan, I don't know the MC that died, but
No, I think it was a couple more or something like that. But
Oh,
R.I.P.
was
to the young man that passed away out
Right.
front and all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Right.
want to be like disrespectful or override that. But yeah, so I was they were doing the podcast over there, and I met them one night. But that's funny. You see how the world comes full circle? But go ahead, you fucking with
But
the
yeah, I've
Ryan
been
podcast.
fucking with them, and I've been doing a lot of different shows. Been performing with them. I recently did a show in Manhattan on the rooftop overlooking the Empire State with my man Rob Swartz and Daily Motion.
On Fifth Avenue?
Around that area. I forget exactly where.
Because my man got a spot, he be on the rooftop and they be doing performances. I
But,
was wondering if it's the same shit.
It might not be, because I know
Okay.
they rented the spot out. And
Oh,
we was
got you.
Yeah, we was looking at the Empire State. So like I said, Daily Motion is it's like going to be like one of the YouTube spots. They was there filming. So it's a lot of things. I'm in motion, you know.
Oh, Daily Motion, you
Is
mean
it-
it's like another version of YouTube?
Yeah.
Those people.
They up and coming.
Yeah.
Right. So they
yeah.
so they was there filming
Oh,
and
doing
things
stuff.
and
Okay,
doing
cool.
stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just about reinventing myself, coming out, maybe grabbing a couple of these companies at the ground level, getting in where you fit in, and those opportunities lie out there now once you put yourself back out there, especially on an independent level. And you gradually make strides in this shit. So eventually this album will take me on doing shows. I have a lot of supporting fans from out, across seas, from my old work to me making myself relevant now with the new shit. So yeah, I've been brushing up on some shows. I've been doing some shows, and I plan on start getting paid for some of these shows.
So who do they need to contact to get in touch with you? And how's your marketing working and all that? Like, let the people know what it is before we slide out.
Well, I'll get you my contact numbers. You know what I mean? Well, not my contact numbers, but...
Well, I'm going to throw everything up on the screen. I'm going to have a little banner there for you and
Right.
all that. You know what I mean?
So social media is Pop the Brown Bomber. On Instagram is Pop the Brown Bomber. On Facebook, Pop the Brown Hornet. On Twitter, Pop the Brown Hornet.
But business inquiries, how do they get in touch with you?
If you want to do business, DM me on the Instagram, Pop the Brown Bomber. Get at me. If you want to do business, get at me then, and I'll give you a number. I'll give you the contact number to contact my peoples. We can take it from there.
Oh, and you go from there. All right, bet. Yo, I want to thank you for coming through.
I appreciate it.
Got a little late out here, you know what I'm saying? We sitting in the dark. My man got strength, man. I'm a skinny nigga, but I'm kind of strong too, you know what I'm saying? But, yo, we had a great time. Yo, shout out to Cosign. Shout out to everybody on Staten Island. I want my man to come back through and do something on another level where it's a little more bright, it's a little more this, it's a little more that. But for everybody that be kind of bugging out and like, yo, why Uncle Nick do these type of interviews in the street? Why he don't set it up a certain type of way? Because if you can't be yourself and tell me what you have to tell me in the street, then I know there might be something weird going on if we do an interview later on where it's in a private setting and people start making shit up because they feel like they're in close quarters. There's something about being in the street that makes people either get with it or you start seeing the facade and the flaws in the character.
Especially the streets of New York.
No, much respect.
Pop the Brown Hornet, Stapleton, Staten Island, Foreman, Mandella, the album now on all digital platforms.
Yup, this motherfucker. Is there anybody you want to shout out before we go?
Want to shout out the whole New York City, especially Staten Island, all the PJs out there. I'm from Stapleton, one love, you know. I want to shout out my man Yusef. Shout out to the Ryan Show. Shout out to Diva. Shout out to my man Hornet. Shout out to my man Phantom of the Beats. Foreman Mandella, we out.
Yo, and I want to give a shout out to all my low-life brothers, double L's, you know what it is. Ayak, we in this motherfucker. Shout out to all my Lower East Side fam, you know what I'm saying? And the Wolf Pack, we strong. So shout out to everybody, man. If you appreciate the content, get your ass up in the description box. Hit that motherfucking link. Drop a donation. Follow my motherfucking mans. Listen to the album. Stream it and request that this motherfucker gets up in the spot and starts performing live and doing his stuff this over.
Bumble fire!
You know what I'm saying? Blood clot, blood cleat, rise clot, more fire upon that. Bow, bow, bow. Let's go Jamaican style, you know what I'm saying? But anyhow, we out of here, man. Peace.
One.